On everyone. So when the Los Angeles Lakers traded for Jarred Vanderbilt, he immediately made an impact on this roster. As soon as he came to the Lakers, they skyrocketed to the top defense in the league. And his intangibles, his versatility is what is so important, right? 6'8", 6'9", got good size. He's quick-footed, so he can stay in front of like guards. We saw what he was able to do against guys like, Brandon Ingram, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Edwards, just completely took him out of games. And there's no doubt or question on the defensive end that he's like elite level when it comes to NBA standards. And him and Anthony Davis really just make an impact. And the Lakers have added a bunch of size out on the perimeter, which is great, right? Got Cam Reddish. They ended up getting Torian Prince, right? These are two guys that can guard multiple positions, can play multiple positions, and just, again, add some versatility to your Rui Hachimura, to your Jarred Vanderbilt, to your LeBron James. And I do expect Jarred Vanderbilt to continue to be that defensive specialist that can guard the best player on the other team. The problem with Jarred Vanderbilt this past year is he got played off the floor because of his lack of offense, right? Like he was great and he worked against, Memphis, where Memphis they struggle to score at times. They're not really big. Like they have their flaws, they have their issues. The Warriors, right? He was able to stay in those games because they're smaller and he has the ability to just stay in front of guys and try to slow down Steph and try to slow down Poole and Clay. And you need a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt, and you kind of live without the offense if you can slow those guys down. But then you got to the series with Denver and it was like, well, we can't really stop these guys even with Jarred Vanderbilt, and Jarred Vanderbilt is basically just a complete liability on the offensive end. We got to try to work something. We got to try to make something work. And ultimately, you saw him kind of dwindle as far as playing time went. But the hope is that he can bounce back and be better productive offensively. That was a real problem. He had his games, he had his moments without a doubt, but he needs to do a better job of catching the ball and using his hands, right? How many times did he have a pass thrown to him and he just kind of fumbled it? But at the same time, it's not like he had a full season or even 50 games or something like that to work it out. He only played 26 games for the Lakers. He started in 24 of those 26 and played around 24 minutes per game. Gave them 7 points and 7 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1 steal, and just under a block. So again, very good, very talented on the defensive end, and still provided some scoring, but a lot of it was, steals out in transition, just being a backdoor cutter, catching it, and just finishing around the rim. But that corner three is massive for him. And Jarred Vanderbilt is in the lab right now, working hard, working diligently to try and fix that shot. So he has been working with Aaron Miller, and Aaron Miller posted some of the workout back to work with Jarred Vanderbilt, taking the necessary steps every summer, and it continues to pay off. Vando had a 17.9% increase this season in his three-point percentage. Keep it going, Jay Vando. Now, he's in the lab working, or at least the images and the videos that came out was just pretty much primarily on the corner three. I'm sure he's shooting and trying to shoot other places, but he's a career 28% three-point shooter. This last year he was 30%, which isn't great, but he is right. I mean, the year prior in 2021 with Minnesota, he shot a 14%. Granted, he didn't even really take an attempt per game, but to go from 14% to 30% is good. It's a good jump, especially when you basically doubled the amount of three-point attempts that you're taking each game. And so if he can continue to progress, and not saying he's going to go and make another jump 17%, because then at that point he's shooting ridiculous 47%, but can he just get to league average? Can he get to 35, 36%? Hell, I'd even take, just because of how great he is defensively, I'd even be okay with 34%. Because then at that point, it's at least respectable. You can't just leave him wide open, because if you leave him wide open, he's going to make you pay a good majority of the time. And so that's what we need. We need him to get respectable. And also, hopefully, because you have like Torian Prince, he shot like 40%, 41% on catch and shoots in the corner. So that's going to be massive. And he provides the defense and the size and the versatility. You got other guys that you could supplement if Jarred Vanderbilt's offense isn't falling and you don't lose that defense. I still think Jarred Vanderbilt is better defensively than Prince, but it's not like Prince is some slouch, right? Not like Prince is a bad defender by any means of the idea, right? He's a very good defender too, and so he provides the offense as well, right? He provides the shooting, shot 38%. If Jarred Vanderbilt can be that guy and come in and provide 34, 35%. Now, I do think it's very likely that Rui, just because of his price tag now, will probably be starting at the 3 for the Lakers. But the concern is defensively, right? Because before he came to Lakers, he was not known by any imagination as a defender, right? He actually was really good for the Lakers and tried and worked hard, but he's not very good against the twitchier forwards, right? He's better against like the Aaron Gordons of the world, Draymond Greens of the world, rather than the Mikal Bridges of the world. He's better at guarding the bigger sort of brawly type forwards as opposed to the longer, skinnier, twitchier ones. And that's what makes Jarred Vanderbilt so important. But Jarred Vanderbilt also is a guy that can guard guys out on the perimeter and bigger guys, and he just gives you more defensive versatility. So I do think Jarred Vanderbilt will be coming off the bench. But in his time off the bench, it would be nice if he can just be consistent from 3. Again, he doesn't have to shoot the lights out, right? Like, give me league average. Can you just get to league average? That's all we need you to do on that, just on that corner 3, which most players, even league average 3-point players, like if you look at their corner 3 percentage, it's usually higher because the corner 3 is closer than the others, right? So if he can just get to league average from that corner 3, because that's where he's going to shoot it 90% of the time, then that'd be perfect. Again, you saw moments from Jarred Vanderbilt where, he went 3 for 3 from 3, or, 3 of 4 from 3 or something like that, 3 of 5 from 3. And in those games, you saw how much of a difference and impact it made on the Lakers. It spread the floor. Teams stopped letting him shoot because it's like, oh man, this guy's got the hot hand. We can't just keep leaving him open. And so teams had to go close out, and then that allowed the lanes to open better and everything like that. And the Lakers now have, again, really good versatility and a lot of switchable guys that if he can just be a consistent shooter, he's going to get open looks. Because you can run lineups with like D'Lo, Reeves, Prince, Anthony Davis, and whomever else, right? Take your pick. LeBron James, let's say, right? And then, have Jarred Vanderbilt in those sets. And maybe in replace of LeBron James or something. And spread the floor with shooters, have a playmaker or two. Gabe Vincent, if he can continue his hot shooting that he had with Miami in the playoffs. He wasn't very good in the regular season, but in the playoffs, he was. Can he find that happy medium this year for the Lakers? That would be great, especially with playmakers on the roster. But you could ideally have a lineup with defensive versatility, right? And say you don't run D'Lo, right? Say you go Reeves, say you go Prince at the 2, you go big, right? Reeves, Prince at the 2. If you can get Jarred Vanderbilt to knock down that 3 consistently, well, now you can put him at the 3 and go like Rui at the 4, and then put Anthony Davis at the 5, or LeBron at the 4 and Anthony Davis at the 5. And now you have a huge switchable, just quality lineup where basically everybody can shoot. That'd be brilliant for the Lakers, right? Because that would just give them that other layer. And I don't expect them to go from the 26th worst 3-point shooting team in the league to all of a sudden they're top 3 or something like that. I don't. Because for the most part, their shooters on the Lakers roster are still the shooters on the Lakers roster, like Reeves, Rui. I do think Prince and his percentage, I think that'll help slightly. But LeBron's still extremely streaky, and he's going to try to jack up 8 threes a game. Anthony Davis is basically just became allergic to shooting threes. And Gabe Vincent may or may not, right? We'll see how that goes. And you look at the roster, it's like, okay, nobody's really that great of a shooter outside of the usual suspects. But if Vanderbilt come in and be just a quality shooter, I think that will help tremendously. I think that'll help with the Lakers' overall percentage, but I think that'll also open up just so much more. So their offense will be more fluid. It'll allow other shooters to get more shots and maybe potentially raise their percentage or make them a little more consistent, right? Because, if you have D'Lo and Reeves on the court and they're both, 40% three-point shooters, if you're the opposing defense, you're not worried about Jarred Vanderbilt. You're worried about the two 40% three-point shooters, right? And then, let's say you throw Torrey and Prince on the court. Now you have three, 38 to 40% three-point shooters. Well, leave Jarred Vanderbilt open in the corner and go and try to double team one of those three that have the ball. Make sure that they don't get an open three because Jarred Vanderbilt's going to shoot 30%. But if he can get to 36%, something like that, well, now all of a sudden it's like, now what do we do? Right now you got Vanderbilt. Yeah, he's 36. Okay, do we want to live with the 36% guy or the 38% guy? Sure, we'll leave him wide open. But he's going to, if they do make that decision, he's going to be able to make them pay more times than not. It would add such a layer to his game. And it would bump up his scoring totals and stuff, which could help the Lakers in return and really solidify him as a legit 3-and-D. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Just wanted to give Vando a little love and appreciation because I'm glad to see him in the lab cooking, trying to get ready for this upcoming season. It's great to see, and again, just believe that he deserves the highlight. So anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments.